Hello, kiddies. It's your old pal Steve here once again, the original Guitar Nut. Welcome to yet another wonderful episode of Guitar Nuts Anonymous. I apologize for not getting an episode up yesterday, but I was struck down with some sort of a horrible stomach bug. I'm very thankful to say I'm pretty much past today. But I'm still in my comfy sweats. It's a lovely 40 degrees outside here in Nashville, and not a heck of a lot warmer here in the studio because, well, I haven't bothered to kick on the furnace yet here, at least the special furnace for this room. Not that you asked. So anyway, the plan for yesterday was to do the fourth and final installment of the Doom pedal board, $25 pedal board budget, whatever you want to call it, the special episode where I go in and actually let you hear all the sounds of the pedals. And I am going to hopefully get to that later today. But first I want to walk you through the guitarsenal for the Doom project. Currently going by codename Curtis. If any of you remember the wonderful Stephen King movie Maximum Overdrive, you'll catch the reference. Curtis, are you dead? But anyway, enough of that. So without further ado, you want to know what guitars I intend to use for the new Doom project, right? Of course you do. Well, let's see, without any further, start off with this lovely baritone Rickenbacker copy. Funny little story about this guy. Let me grab a cable here. I'm going to step out of picture because we're nothing but professional here at Guitar Nuts Anonymous. When I ordered this thing, it was actually called the 38112 replica, and it was a 12 string, and it's sort of vaguely reminiscent of a Model 381 as viewed through not entirely opened eyes. But it's a cool guitar. I used it for a couple of tracks on the first Incognito Cartel album as a 12 string, but quickly found out that it wouldn't stay in tune, largely because the second set of tuners that went in these slots couldn't be tightened by any tool known to man. They were in there loose, and there was really no getting around it. The way they'd mounted them was just a joke. So I'm getting a look at it and like, this has a really nice wide neck, unlike any, genuine Rickenbacker, 12 or otherwise. And I thought to myself, what if I lost half the tuners and strung this thing up with some big hoot and baritone strings? So I tried, and guess what? It sounded great. So I've got this tune to C sharp standard, sort of like the albums 4 and onward Black Sabbath. Let me get a little tone going here. By the way, you might have noticed the total overkill amplifier behind me. I picked up this really cool PV Musician 400 head from the 70s for $100 from a local pawn shop, which is paired with this lovely PV Classic Tweed 410 guitar cabinet and this Behringer 115 aluminum cone bass cabinet. Yeah, it's totally more than anyone needs in their studio. Probably more than anyone needs on stage, but I wanted to see what it sounded like. I had them, $50 cabinet. I don't even remember what I gave for the 410, and $100 for the head. But I do know that it sounds great. Well, yeah, it's and volume for days, which should surprise no one. I barely have the volume on this thing on at all. Should probably get a little more. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike for that. It's a funny thing. If any of you remember, you used to be able to do covers of entire songs, like intentional covers, and no one said a word. And now you play a riff and you get a strike? What is that about? I don't even know. But anyway, so this guy's tuned to C sharp standard. And to keep from getting confused, because who wants to be on stage having to think about what their notes are, I got out my lovely label maker my wife gave me, and labeled all the non-standard tuned guitars. Yeah, it's unsightly, but no one's going to see it but me anyway. Well, and now you, but it's our secret, right? But anyway, this restringing as a baritone, which is slightly microphonic, but it sounds great. This thing is great. So anytime I want to do any C-sharp tune stuff with the new band, this will be the guy. Let me mute this. Now, one thing I want to point out is in this new project, I don't intend on using any standard E-tuned guitars. And apart from this, any guitars that could be standard, meaning they're going to have odd scale lengths or something odd about them. As a for instance, this lovely thing that I had built a few years back, the Mongoose. This was originally a plectrum guitar, which is to say a 27-inch scale guitar that was going to be tuned D, G, B, E and played like an electric banjo, which is a passion of mine. But I have a couple of them, and it occurred to me that what I could do instead, slightly microphonic pickup here as well, that I could tune this bad boy to A, E, A, E, and have basically two power chords, which I could play with one hand. Intonation's a bit up, and I'm going to work on that. It's something I just recently tried. So yeah, 4 strings, baritone strings, tune A, A, E. So that's another one that's going to be a lot of fun. As soon as I get it in tone, it'll be a whole lot better. But I'll do that. There's room on here for intonation. Next up, I have a pair of these guys. They're really unusual. You've probably seen these before for sale on your local Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. It's the Ibanez Geo Sound Gear Micro Bass, specifically GSRM20. I bought this one for my daughter for her 4th or 5th Christmas. She never learned how to play, but after sitting in a case for a long time, I happened to read an article with Wes Borland of Limp Bizkit fame, when he was talking about having some custom-made 4-string guitars that were like 28-inch scale, which this is, tuned F sharp an octave up, B, E, and that he used to play, you know, strummable riffs and whatnot. So I thought I'd give it a shot with this. I have a bass string and 3 guitar strings. And it's tuned F sharp, B, E. And almost immediately, I came up with a pretty cool thing for a new song I've got that's called Antisocial. It's like this. Now, perfect example of why I have the MXR compressor on my board. I just played that thing. Yeah, it does add a little gain. And it sounded awfully diffuse. But now with the compressor, much clearer. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be a foot away from the amp. I wouldn't get all this feedback. But regardless, This is a really cool little piece, and as I said, this cool tuning. So, me being me, of course, I picked up a second. Same tuning. Not necessarily as a spare, but because in the new band, on that particular song, both the bass player and I will likely be playing these, so he can keep playing that initial rhythm, and I can play that chorded part over the top, so I'll give one of these to him. By the way, that bass player's name happens to be John Paul, and he might be out there watching, I don't know. But if you are, guess what, John Paul? This is going to be yours. Fun fact, I actually have 3 of these things, but one of them is still strung as a bass. Who knows for how long. So those are my color instruments, my effects guitars, if you will. My standard guitar that's going to be, well, standard. It's a baritone. Since there will be no standard guitars being used in this project, but my main axe is going to be this. It's an early 2000s Ibanez model AX 110 XL. These were made for a short time. This is actually the second one I've owned. I should never have gotten rid of the first one. Well, this one's much cleaner than that one was. Yeah, these were really cool, and you don't see them very often. But when you do, they don't sell for a heck of a lot, which is a great thing for me. This is in standard baritone tuning, B-E-A-D, F sharp B. And just in case you forget, yeah, it's labeled too. But this is going to be my main axe. Yeah, I'm very fond of this. I'd like to find another one just to have as a backup, but yeah, these are... Yeah, this is going to be my main axe, and it weighs almost nothing. Yeah. I haven't hooked up the noise gate pedal yet, which, by the way, I'm going to have a noise gate underneath the board. It'll constantly be on, so you won't hear this kind of stuff. But yeah, great guitar. So, let me back off some of this noise here for you. Yeah, this is going to be my main axe for the new band. Codename Curtis. So yeah. Because why wouldn't a guy who has 60 plus standard guitars at his disposal not decide to form a band where he's not going to use a single one of them, right? And if I do decide that I want to eventually, use a standard guitar down-tuned or something, I'll probably pull out my favorite Oxblood Les Paul copy and restring that, who knows. But in the meanwhile, Ibanez AX 110 XL. And if anybody out there has a line on one of these for sale, locally, I've got a search on Reverb, but everything on Reverb is always overpriced. But anybody has one around, knows of one, let me know, because I'm looking for a second one. In the meantime, I do have something to use as a backup if necessary. I picked up one of these Fireflies. It's a kind of a Telecaster deluxe thing in sparkle silver. Same tuning, B-E-A-D, F sharp B. That sounds good. you're hearing my rat pedal and the MXR compressor. But I did wind up replacing one of my beloved MXR Blue boxes with, I'll tell you all about it in the next episode, but here's the sound of it. This thing sounds better than I remember. Maybe I'll use it more than I thought. Regardless, this is currently the backup for the Ibanez. And I should point out, I haven't seen one of these available recently on the Firefly website, guitarsgarden.com. But when I did, if I remember correctly, I think I gave $179 for this. Crazy deal. Right now they have 28-inch baritone black Les Pauls on sale for right about $200, and big Jazzmaster looking 30-inch baritones for like $179. If you're at all interested in low tune stuff, whether you're looking to do a Doom thing or just have something nice and twangy, you could do a whole lot worse than these Fireflies. I mean, no sharp fret ends. No dead spots. Yeah, seriously. Firefly, highly recommended. Not that you asked, but if you did, or we're going to, there you go. In fact, I'll put a link down in the notes. Not that I'm sponsored by them or anybody else, but if they want to sponsor me, I'll be happy to check out some more of their stuff. I wouldn't mind having one of those baritone Les Paul copies. They also had, and may have again by now, since their stock changes a lot, a baritone ES335 type called the 338B that looked really cool. If you can imagine a big old 335 body with a 28-inch neck, scale neck. Yeah, it was pretty damn cool. But anyway, I'm rambling because when it comes to talking about guitars, I could just do it for hours. And some of you out there could actually listen, although clearly not all of you, since I think the average duration of viewing is something like 3.5 minutes right now. But who knows? Some of you are going to stick it out. You always do. So anyway, there is the Doom Guitarsenal. And I'll try to get back on later today and record the episode where I go through and play you all of the pedals, probably with this bad boy, and let you hear the sounds I'm going to be using for the new project. And yeah, if you're interested, feel free to tune in. Meanwhile, if there's anything else you want to know about, have any questions, comments, rude statements, leave me a message below. Of course, I can also be emailed. I haven't mentioned it lately, but you can still email me at the old rickenbackeranonymous@gmail.com. I should probably start a guitarnutsanonymous@gmail.com as well and just have them all dump into one. But that's an awful lot of typing, don't you think? Maybe I could just go with GNA at gmail.com. I'm sure it's been used by somebody, but I'm going to check. I'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, yeah, comment, do all the things. I'm not going to mention them, but you know what they are. And I'll see you again soon. Alrighty? Meanwhile, stay cool, stay frosty, stay doomy, and, reach out to me. Stay doomy and reach out to me. Let me write that down. That could be a new lyric. Meanwhile, I'll see you soon. Till then, Steve out.